welcome back, everyone, to our second part of Wolfenstein: The Old Blood. I nail it again.
Yeah, buddy, you got it.
You did.
I was gonna look because I had it downloaded on my computer, but I ended up beating it, so I took it off, and I was like, shoot, the icon's not there. But it's our second and final part of The Old Blood, because again, just to remind everybody, this is kind of the DLCs put together, the spin-off that came from the first game, a little bit shorter. But yeah, Preston, this is yours, so take us through it.
It's gonna be a little bit of a short one too, because this one did not take as long as part one. So part two, starting in chapter 5. Kessler rows us into Wolfsburg with Annette. We are to find Agent 2, who will know where to find Helga while they hide out under the docks. We gather up a bunch of ammo here and head out. Do the usual. Start sneaking around or fight your way to Agent 2's home. Wolfsburg looks incredible. And the level design going through the town is super nice. I was getting some decent distance shots with the pistol because it was a little more open area as far as the town. And going through town is super nice. We even find, as we go through here, our drunken flower friend near one of the nightmare beds as well. I thought you could interact with him, but he just talks to you for a little bit. Once we get into Agent 2's home, we find out it's Pippa, who we also find out was very close to Wesley. She tells us that Helga will be at the tavern, and we'll need to go there in disguise. We drop our weapons off at her bedside trunk, and then make our way to the tavern. There are some Nazi puppers outside to take out, but it's a short task and a short trek to get into the tavern. When we get inside, grab an apron, and grab a tray of wine, and move through the tavern, avoiding the drunk Nazi soldiers as we get to Helga's room. We get upstairs and deliver the wine, but like the train in the first one, before we leave, Helga has us sit. She wants us to taste the wine, probably to make sure it's not poisoned. But she's also asking us some questions and tells us about her passion for drawing, making drawings and looking for treasure since she was a kid, and how she got polio. As she does this, she asks us our name, which he doesn't even try to do an accent. And she questions, like, oh, she's like, I have like a nephew or something like that named Franz. So as she goes to tell us about, her treasure hunting days in the woods and stuff like that and getting polio, she mentions, or she tastes the wine, has us taste the wine as well. We say it's delicious. She spits it out, saying it's trash. And she already noticed our accent. So she takes out a knife, stabs our hand into the table, and calls us a spy.
She actually was way more dramatic than like, this wine is trash. She's like, this wine is awful.
Oh, yeah.
And it's sour.
She goes into
and
it.
I wouldn't even serve it to my own worst enemy. And I'm like, oh, okay, lady, you're talking about some wine during wartime. Like, I apologize.
Some town that you took
Also, it's like a village out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Ease up.
Yeah. That is so dramatic.
She's extra fancy, though, so she'll be snooty about the wine. She tells us to give her the folder back, but someone comes up over the radio. He says they used the dynamite to open a hole in the crypt, and that something was leaking out of it. As they are distracted, BJ takes the knife out of his hand, stabs the other guy holding a pistol, takes the pistol, tries to take a couple shots, but he drank a whole bunch of wine and misses. And as we're doing that, an earthquake happens. We end up falling over, and as per usual, a piece of the building falls down and knocks us out. We black out. We slowly start to wake, and Helga leaves, saying she's going to the dig site to investigate. Start up chapter 6. Ruins. We wake up and see her map lying on the ground. As we try to leave the tavern, the big twist hits. You come up to the first Nazi to do an assassination, you turn him around, and his eyes are glowing, and he bursts into flames to be a zombie, maybe a possessed demon kind of thing. I'm going to go with zombies.
I think zombie.
Yeah,
I think it's safe.
So here's the one thing that makes me think of zombies.
It reminded me of Call of Duty zombies.
It did,
with the glowing
a lot,
eyes.
yeah.
So
my only issue is that I would take out a lot of people with heads shots, and then they turn into zombies. So I feel it's more of a possession thing, but we're gonna go with zombies because that's more fun. So since we dropped our weapons off at Pippa's place, we now need to leave while bopping zombies on the head. So you take out a whole bunch of them as we go through. I noticed at first, I'm like, this is a pretty very reliable thing to do. But then as you go through the levels a little bit further, they end up hitting you almost every single time once you get like a certain distance from them, unless you can get that hit in like perfectly. And they do have a little speed boost too, so they'll get you, and they hit hard as well. We get to.
I did find out kind of early. Sorry, I did find out kind of early, and it wasn't 100% consistent, but it was a really high percentage that if I was dual wielding the pistols, if I went not at the same time, not pop, but if I went pop pop, a lot of times it would kill them. So like it's almost like the first one would cause the possession, and the second one would headshot and kill it.
Yeah,
it happened. I got that to happen a lot, which was nice.
I noticed assassinations. If you get them with silent, stealthy takedown, assassination wise, like they will not turn into zombie. From what I've seen a couple times.
Yeah.
Even if you silently shoot them with a pistol, they will turn into a zombie at that point. So we get to Pippa's. See her finding some of them as we try to get through the rubble. One sneaks up behind her, though, which I think was the actual one that was laying in the bed when we left. And he throws her into the fiery bed. So unfortunately, as we go up there, I'm like, okay, well, she's going to turn into a zombie. So I give her a little bop, and it's like nothing. I'm like, okay, well, she's dead. Of course, as you go to get the guns out of the trunk, she wakes up, and we now have to take her out. Nazi dogs are also zombies or possessed. Definitely more like hellhounds, for real. Even noticed them, they kind of came out of like door portals. So like a fiery door that they kind of jump out of. But they are definitely possessed or zombie hellhounds for sure. Now that we have our guns back, we are to backtrack to the boat dock to check on Kessler and Annette. So we blast our way through. I try to do a lot more melee, but they hit really hard and it wasn't worth it in the end, so I just started using my ammo. We get to the dock, and they are no longer in the boat, but Kessler's double-barreled shotgun is, so we go ahead and take that double-barreled shotgun, start sawing off before one of the zombies start busting through, and now we have the sawed-off shotgun. Now, I think it's very nice you have a sawed-off shotgun. I don't know why you would really want to use that one other than the other one, outside the fact that it uses a different type of ammo. So... if you run out of your other shotgun,
it's slow.
So slow. It's only 2 shots. You have to reload, which the reload's not too bad. It's a lot faster than the bigger shotgun you have, but it's just so much nicer having the other shotgun with like 8 shots per round. It's really nice to have that. So after we take the new double-barreled shotgun, sawed-off barrel shotgun, the hellhounds come out like fiery portal doors, and while zombies tend to happen after Nazis die, they are also falling from the sky. At one point, we even see one of the Nazi blimps in the background just on fire and crashing. But I even saw this in the concept art. Like, this is their idea. Was like, I don't know if they're coming from the sky. I'm assuming they're supposed to be coming from like the overabundancy of blimps they have out there, and everyone's on fire and dropping down. But it's a really interesting way to like do spawning enemies, which is just them like commenting into the ground in front of you, falling down and slowly crawling back up. So yeah. As we get past the area with the Nazi blimp crashing, we now make our way through the rest of the town, looking for Kessler and Annette. We end up fighting Annette in one of the rooms, fighting off some of the zombos, and we help her. I think there is an option to not save her, because I got a little trophy achievement for doing so. She wants to find her friend still. She's not going to take no for an answer. She tells us we're going to help her get up into this rooftop hole to do so. We offer to help her out, but she says we need to go after Helga. Once we help her out, we hear Kessler in the building across the street. We jump onto a wire to zip line over, but it's a little too late. So he gets taken down. As soon as you kill those zombos in the area, he turns into a zombie. You gotta kill him as well. We leave the building and find the mech. We get inside, and this ends Chapter 6. Chapter 7, Old Town. Now that we are in the Laderoboter, I didn't know how to pronounce that.
I'm sure you nailed that.
Roboter? A mech. With swinging arms, we bust through large wooden doors and splat Nazis all over the place. However, if one gets on the mech, you have to exit the mech and shoot it off, which I actually hate. Because like when you're sitting there...
I do too.
Just pull out one of your guns. The dude's sitting right in front, like it's an open-aired cockpit. Just pull out a gun, use your double barrels, blow them away, and then continue moving on. But no, you gotta get out of it every single time. Luckily, it didn't happen too often. You got pretty good range.
Wait. I'm sorry. Say that again?
So when you're in the mech, and you get too close to one of the zombies, they crawl up the front of it and start hitting you. The only way to get them off that I thought is you had to get out of the mech and shoot them. No?
No.
How'd you do it?
No. You just RB swapped a weapon. He brought out his right hand off the controls, and you could just shoot him with your gun in the mech.
I know that.
I agree, but I didn't know
every
either.
time. I did not get out of that mech until the end.
I did not.
I
got out every time.
I thought I tried things.
No.
I thought I tried things, but I guess I didn't try hard enough.
I was just like, I'm listening. I'm like,
Wait, but okay, well, apparently it's not that bad of a thing.
No, you can definitely shoot from inside. Yep.
Ignore everything I said then. You'll still need to get off the mech to open up gates, grab any of the gear that's on the ground, but you will get in and out constantly to help the mech get through some of these gates that you can't crash through. Very short chapter. You're pretty much just opening up gates and taking out zombies. At the very end of this, you get to like a big giant wall. Leads into a graveyard. This starts up Chapter 8, Dig Site. So you crawl up the arm of the mech over that wall, and you are now in a gravesite. And as we've been going through these areas, the earthquake that happened does have like little crevices, little cracks in the ground that show like some green glowing paranormal shit coming out of it. Very Ghostbuster shit. So as you get over there to the graveyard, or catacombs, if you will, here you can sneak or blast your way through to get down to the dig site. Once you're in, we need to make our way through to find Helga. This area has the last nightmare mission in it. I actually found a bunch of these this time because I was keeping an eye out. This is the ending one. So all it really is a hallway with a really big bullet spongy dude at the very end of the hallway. And then once you get through the last door, your exit actually shows like the sides are still the pixelated like brick walls, but then you got this beautiful, stunning, realistic background on the outside of it, which I'm assuming is just you exiting Castle Wolfenstein into a new.
I was actually going to ask you guys, which you may not know, like, yeah, I didn't know if maybe that had a bigger meaning. Like, is that how the OG Wolfenstein ends? Do you leave, like, probably not as picturesque, but
Sure.
like, do you come out in a big
But they give you a
valley of the
realistic
castle or something?
kind of thing. I have no idea.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
I wondered. I was like, this has to mean something, but I never played.
I assume it means the dream world is obviously the old school Castle Wolfenstein, but you finishing up the nightmare and finishing it leads you back into the real world, and then you wake up. That's the only thing I can think it means. But anytime you hit those levers, you didn't see anything else that was realistic at the end of those levels, so who knows? If any of you out there play the old school Castle Wolfensteins, if that happens, let us know. It'd be cool to know. All right, so we go through that, finish up Chapter 7, get the dig site. In Chapter 8, we find Nazis fighting the zombos here as well, here and there, and they take them all out, so we take out both. Just start hosing people. As we get closer, we hear Helga and arrive to the ritual room / embalming room. So I'm guessing this was. As the closed off area. By the way, Helga has like her second-hand man or the officer who's supposed to come by. He came by from Death's Head because they were worried about she's taking too long or just wasting resources doing whatever she's doing. So he was kind of like there to inspect it, right? To make sure everything was going according to plan, that resources weren't being wasted. And she is just talking shit on him the entire time with the funniest, like, I didn't write any of them down, but she has some really funny one-liners of like, kind of like an old ball bag or shit like that. It was just really, really funny. She's talking shit the entire time. We find the embalming room / like ritual room. You hit a button, the little square area in the middle comes up in flames, and then now we're just playing a very small horde mode type of deal. So we're fending off the zombies. That button that you press starts opening up the door in the back area. Or I should say doors. There's like 1,000 fucking doors that slowly go down, and you're just waiting for all those to go down. Of course, fending off the zombies as they are trickling in. So after you fend off all the zombies, the door slides all the way down. You get through, and you go to an open door. To open a door, and to get to the entrance of the room where Helga's at. And apparently there's a trap set for us. So as soon as we open up the door, our feet get taken out underneath us due to a metal chain that was there, ready as a trap, and we are now hanging upside down. As most of these Nazi officers do when BJ is captured, she just talks a lot of mad shit, as the Nazis do, and she finds out that we have her journal, because we brought it back from the room. It has a clue to the site that she's currently at, kind of like a puzzle piece, or how to unlock the puzzle. And as she does it, another earthquake starts up. We end up seeing 2 large hands come out from the ground, and a big, monstrous, mummy-looking thing, one of those typical waist-up type of bosses, emerges from the other side of this area. Helga talks to it. She's super excited. She pets it, thinks she's having control of it, and then she ends up telling it to feed on us, and it just straight up goes directly after her. Gives her one big old chomp, swings her around a little bit, throws her, and of course, like, we're watching this, and the animators definitely want you to see her because, like, she's like big eyes as she's flowing past you and hits a wall right into the other room. So after he grabs her the jaw and throws her back into the room, and just bites apart the other guy that was there with her, here we fight the boss. So we're in this little arena kind of area. There's 2 floors behind us with a bunch of ammo and shields and such. This is where we will fight him. So, like I said, typical from the waist up type of large boss. He'll be swinging his fist down, whether it's a double fist, whether it's a sweeping trying to strike. And then we'll also have ads of Nazi soldiers / zombos coming after us at the same time. So after he's slamming around, you'll essentially need to hit the weak spot, which is the glowing part of his mouth. You do that a couple times. He has a couple phases. You hit him a whole bunch. He kind of like hunkers down. You can't really hit him for a while. You're fending off the ads. Maybe going and collecting his shields and stuff like that if you need to. Do that a couple times, a couple phases, and you end up taking him out. He kind of slumps back in the back, and you have finished the boss battle. So after you do all that, you go back to where Helga is because you want to get the file that you've been doing this whole game. You grab that file. Helga would still be alive when you go in there. I don't know about you guys. I didn't really listen to her too much. I just shot her immediately. I didn't want to hear what she had to say. She seemed like a horrible person. So I'm just like, I'm going to shoot you. Take this file. I'm out. Little did I know.
So I waited. I was going to shoot her. Mm-hmm. And I was like, let me just see what happens. And she talks a little bit for like half a sentence. And then she just slumps over and
she dies herself.
Dies.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, she dies herself.
Well, it felt
Oh,
better.
well, I'm glad I shot her then.
Yeah, well, it felt better. Yeah, it felt better.
Yeah, because then I tried to shoot her and nothing happened. So shooting her first before she had a chance to fall over was definitely the best choice. Yeah.
Gotcha. So yeah, we get to go pick up the file, and in typical new Wolfenstein game fashion, a rock falls on BJ's head and we black out again. It's his favorite thing to do.
Christian called that out to me when we were talking about it.
He's like, he's going to get hit by another rock and black
It's
out.
like every transition in this game is getting hit in the head.
Mm-hmm.
He did. He was just this is the most one person's ever been hit in the head. He's like, BJ just hit in the head again.
Oh yeah. We wake up and hear Fergus as he is pulling rocks off of us. We take a boat back with him. He lets us know that Pippa sent out the stress call, and he brought a bunch of troops to answer it. Fergus is very happy that we now know where Death's Head compound is at, so we can finally end the Nazi Empire. At the end, we take a truck with Fergus to the airfield where it fades to black, and we see all the airships flying off in the distance, leading up to the New Order. And credits with a sick Mick Gordon song. And we have finished part 1 and part 2 of Wolfenstein the Old Blood. I almost did it, Alex. But yeah, what's your guys' thoughts? How do you feel about it? Being a DLC / little spin-off thing instead.
Yeah, so when you said this was 2 DLCs put together, I did not feel that in the first playthrough, which makes sense because we kind of just chopped it like in half. When you get to the second one, you're like, oh yeah.
The first one was a Return to the Capital Wolfenstein. The second one was supposed to be like a zombie horror kind of thing, and they just like, you know what, just mush these together.
Yeah, and I liked them both. I really liked the first one.
Yeah.
Castle Wolfenstein part was peak. It was fantastic. It was so well done. There was so much like alternate history lore in there while you were exploring, along with everything going on. The escape. I mean, everything we talked about in the last episode, I loved. There were things about the second part of this I liked. I thought the environments were still incredible. Yep. And honestly, like one of my favorite skyboxes was when you get in the cemetery and it's like dark and night, but like blue hues and lights, and like there's like the ground has erupted with light coming out of it. Like,
huge and bright and like right there. Yeah.
Yeah, so like from a environment perspective, again, they continue to nail it, and I loved the look of it. And the gameplay was just as good the second time too. It's just the story part itself with like the zombies stuff. It wasn't crazy far out of the realm, because if you're reading the notes and stuff throughout the whole playthrough, they talked about like King Otto's like army and all that other stuff. So like I all of that actually made sense. It was weird because it was so far fantastical and horror beyond the whole first game and the whole first part of the DLC that it was a little jarring at first. But I was actually fine with all of that by the end of it. Like, I think it made sense. But the final boss being this, like, huge creature that crawls up from the depths, that itself kind of got me. And, like, with the woman, like, she's talking to it, like, you and I are going to do so much good work. And she's like, you're going to take them down. She turns to us, and you can kind of see it, like, oh, it's going to eat her. And she puts her hand back on it. She's like, no, listen to me. We're gonna rule the, like... And I just, the whole time I'm thinking, like, what's your plan here? Like,
unleash a monster? Is that what you plan on doing?
Right. But like, it's a big monster for a person, but it's not a big monster for the whole allied army.
You get a big plane going in and just drops a decent-sized bomb on it, it's done, right?
So like, I was just like, so what are we doing? So, I as a whole... I liked it. The first part I really liked, and the second part was fine. I still think the side characters are great. I don't. Who did you guys save, the girl or the guy in this playthrough?
So I saved the girl because you kind of automatically save the girl without actually knowing you're doing it. It's like when you jump in, you see her fighting with a zombie, and the only
First
way
reaction.
you could not save her,
right?
The only way you could not save her is by not shooting.
No, you can go to the right. So in that part, wait, you like there's a guy or a man or a woman you can save.
So
right?
Not in
it's
mine.
Kessler or whatever her name is.
But Kessler is in like a building across the street from me.
Correct.
Because you went to the left. So what happens when you first get in that area? You drop down and you can go left. You go left or you go right, and the left goes to the bathhouse and the right goes to the garage. So the first time I dropped in and I was like, I'm looking at the map because I was collecting all the gold bars, right? And I'm like, okay, so what's over here? I was like, let me go explore right. And I went right, and I hear him chirping about like saving somebody. I hear him chirping, and I jump in the garage and I go, I bet you the garage is going to be the dude. And because I looked at the map and saw bathhouse, I was like, clearly the woman is going to be in like the kitchen-y bathhouse thing. So I reloaded from right there, reloaded the save and went and saved her. But you have the choice. So if you would have gone to the right and saved him, she would have
I didn't even know.
died.
So because the way that so to be fair, I don't think it's like an even split. Like it's like kind of like disjointed a little bit. Because the bathhouse is like the first building that I ran up on. And I don't remember there being like a split in the road like that. It feels like it was probably more.
It's a bathhouse.
It's even. You just went left.
Yeah,
first.
I think the bathhouse itself has a split within it, because when you're in there, when you finish that area,
yeah, but that's not what he's talking about. He's saying before the building.
You're saying even before you get into the bathhouse.
So there's two places. Like one looks like a kitchen area that opens up into the bathhouse, and the other is a garage, and that's how I knew. Because I assume like woman, kitchen, man, garage.
Because there's,
but it's an even left right.
Because in most of these areas, like they'll put like a little exclamation mark where you need to be going next, even if you don't have a full map. Like you'll still show you which direction.
Right.
This section they don't put that in there for you, and I noticed that. So it's like, okay, we're just gonna walk in blindly, and hopefully they'll trigger something that'll tell me where to go. But then I found a net, and that's what happened. So it's just natural.
You guys just so I will say the hallway, it's not lighter, but like again, because the other one's the garage is kind of like dim and gray, where the other one's white and bright. But you both just happen to go the same way, which is really funny. But yeah, once you drop in, you're just stuck. You can't go back and choose anything else. So interesting.
Yeah.
So anyway, so with all of that, like the turn was fine. I liked like the options and stuff were fine. Side characters are good. Like I liked all of it. Just the final boss.
Final boss is really to where it's like, okay, all right, what God of War shit we're doing right now, we don't need this.
And the fight was irritating. Like I died once and had to redo it. Christian died a couple of times, but like I don't know, man. The fighting of the zombies and like having to fight those while fighting it and just like getting consistently pushed backwards or like swipe to the right and the left was really pissing
His
me off. So I
swipes
looked
are
it up. I was like, how the
half the arena. Like he'll do a full swipe and
I
it's
was
like half
like-
that arena. I'm like, Jesus.
So I got pissed off because I fought him forever. And I was like running
Just
out
a
of all
lot.
of my ammo, but like I still wasn't dying because there was enough stuff laying around, but I didn't have enough to kill him. So I was just like, what am I doing? And people are like, oh, if you just crouch on the bottom level, he'll swipe over you every time. I was like, oh, okay.
Okay.
And that's how I beat it the second
Mad
time. I was like,
strats.
awesome.
Jesus.
Yes, thank you. And then they were like, because he's blind, he's attracted to noise. So they're like, when the zombies are called, which you can't really tell he's blind because he has eyes, but they're like, when the zombies are called, if you just don't move, he'll kill all the zombies because they're making noise.
Sure.
So you just like let him kill them all, shoot him in the mouth 3 times, stay crouched, he swings over your head. It's like, okay. So yeah, that was my thought. I don't. It's kind of hard how to rate. Do we want one rating for the entire DLC?
Yeah, for the entire DLC, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's not DLC, it's a standalone
They
game.
shipped it as one, so
Yeah.
it gets rated
It
as
is a
one.
It was DLC at one
I
point.
would s-
and made it a standalone game.
I would say 3. If you did them separately, the first one would be higher, the second would be lower. I come out at a 3 out of 5 on that one.
Sure.
Yeah.
But all the gunplay and everything was just as good.
Yeah, I thought the gunplay and everything, the environments were great. Like I said, Wolfsburg was beautiful. Like it's something that you
Yeah.
would see like in a textbook kind of thing of just like these wonderful like, you know, not Germany but like nearby like countrysides with the type of buildings and stuff like that, skyboxes and everything, and the design of some of those areas like the docks and like different ways of going around those, fucking great, awesome. Castle Wolfenstein, phenomenal, loved it.
The zombies did add this weird level of annoyance sometimes. Like, I would be sneaking through areas, and I would pop a headshot,
I
and it would,
know.
like, explode to a zombie,
I
and then
know.
alert everybody. I'm like, oh, okay.
And the first couple of times I'm like, doing, I'm like, oh shit, that's right. So I'm like, pop them a couple of times to get them down beforehand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that a couple
So-
times. So it's like, fuck. I'm like, I wish if they're obviously not zombies because I'm shooting them in the head to get that one headshot kill, and then they go zombo mode as soon as I shoot them in the head. I'm like, okay, well, you can call them zombies if you
Yeah.
want, but they're really like demonic possessed shit. Like that. That's what it's gonna be, like cursed stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really enjoyed because I saw that like in the concept art that we had in the game. I looked through a little bit too. But I don't love the idea of people falling to their deaths, but like I like the idea of just like the flaming Nazis are just like and just like dropping and then
Yeah,
slowly
yeah.
getting up. I'm like, that's a cool fucking touch. I like that a lot. It's not just crawling out from under all the vents and stuff like that or coming out of the building. It's just no, they're just
Yeah.
dropping out like comets out of the sky. I'm like, I like that. It's a really fucking cool touch. It looks really cool.
So I don't know why, but they are.
Yeah, I don't know why. Well,
Is
I'm
it-
assuming
so
the blimps
do you-
are up there all on fire and dying. So
I was
Maybe,
gonna say, yeah,
maybe
I would
that's
assume
what
the
it is,
implication
yeah.
is these are people, that were on fire in the blimp, and they would have. And it's when they hit the ground and die, they're then taken over by the power
Yeah.
that's already down on the
yeah,
ground.
and they could have been
maybe
dead on their
that's
way
what
down.
it
Who
is.
knows?
That's
But yeah, I'm
fair.
assuming that somebody dies or something happens to some of those out there. They get possessed, light on fire, and it ends up catching the blimp on fire and everything like that too. So
Yeah, that's fair.
that's why those
Yeah,
are
yeah, I
going
didn't
down.
think about that.
Yeah, I love the way it looked. It looked great, played great. Just another Wolfenstein game. How do you feel, Christian?
Yeah, so it felt like to me that it was like, I don't know what they should have done here. Like, I maybe
They
kept
should've
them
made-
as 2 separate ones.
DLC.
Honestly,
the
I
best,
think
yeah.
maybe that would be, because the problem is connecting them together like that. But honestly, like maybe telling 2 separate stories too. I'm not really sure. I think it feels so disjointed. Like,
Can.
you do the Castle Wolfenstein thing, and I was so in, and then like the zombie thing happens, and I literally went like, okay.
That's not what
Like I
wanted.
was like,
Okay.
even before everything happened, I was like, all right. Now Preston pointed out to me, I didn't even notice it, but on the cover, it does kind of show the guy being like kind of a zombie. So I guess I should have seen it coming.
Yeah.
But I didn't even notice it at first, and so
I saw
like,
it
when
many
it
times.
happened-
Like I didn't even. I was surprised by that zombie twist. I'm like, I didn't even know. And I thought,
Yeah,
like,
me
it
too.
shows him right there on the fucking cover. Like, obviously, it's a zombie.
Yeah. I never.
yeah,
paid
and
attention.
so when it happened, I just was like, all right,
No.
like that's.
I don't need another
Okay.
reason to kill
And so
Nazis,
then-
but all right.
Yeah, so but then it was like, so then I go through and like the stuff that happens with the side character, like it ends up, that second half ends up feeling far more rushed than I thought it would be.
Sure.
And so like everything kind of felt unsatisfying to me. Like the stuff with the net, like it happens, like you see her and then you save her or whatever, and then you shove her into the ceiling and she runs off and goes and finds her girlfriend, and then, at the end when you guys are leaving, you see her and her girlfriend hugging and hanging out or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But like, you get across like Kessler or whatever, and he's on the other side of the building, and you take the zip line over, and he gets eaten by a zombie, and then he dies, and he's like, BJ's like, oh, Kessler, I'm just
something with
better.
Peppa.
Sorry.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, sorry it happened that way. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, I don't know him. Like he was here for 5 seconds and then he was gone, right?
He's been your contact in this area. That's how you got there. Like he's the big like.
But only
guide
twice.
Contact. Well, you've talked to him plenty of times before you even got to the area, because he was like the guy who was like telling you how to get places and get stuff.
Yes,
and
but I'm saying that's pre-game, right?
Sure.
Like, so I'm not
you
playing that as the
personally,
player.
of course,
I know that, but like I haven't spent any time with him as the person experiencing the media.
Sure.
And so then the same thing with Pippa was the nurse, right? That was
Pippa is agent number 2, and then Annette is the one that's with Kessler.
Yeah. Annette.
Right, Annette, yeah. Pippa was the one that, right. So before, right when this DLC pops off and she dies and gets hit by the zombie or whatever, and BJ is also super bummed about that one, and I was like,
just met her.
5 seconds.
She was very nice to me.
She talks about how she was like, oh, like, I remember us hanging out at that party with Wesley and yada, 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 and all that other stuff. Mm-hmm. Then you leave immediately, you go do the stuff with Helga, and then you come back, and she's dead, and you're like, okay. I mean, I guess so.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, the stuff, like, in the first DLC, like, with the villain specifically, right, like, you spend most of that DLC seeing all the shit that he's done. You deal with him right in the beginning. Then he beats the shit out of Wesley. Then he kills. Then he this and that. Like, and it goes all the way to that final boss fight. That was like a satisfying character arc. It made more sense, right? And so,
you see her.
It felt like super rushed.
She's dead. Yeah.
Yeah, and then with not even an hour later, like maybe that whole section is like maybe 15 minutes. And then the zombie thing, like them as a mechanic, like I just was like, like I just like they rush at you, then they hit you, and when they hit you, it takes 50 fucking health, and you're like, radical, right? I mean, like I know you were playing on easy, but yeah, like for on normal, I was just like, that's a lot of damage, man. That's a lot of fucking damage, like Jesus. And it actually made me think, because there was a second when you get the double barrel shotgun, right? Like when BJ saws it off. And I was like, oh man, this feels like a company that knew Doom was coming, because this feels like the shotgun from Doom. That is exactly what it feels like, right?
They even put you pretty shortly after in a circular room where you're waiting for the stairs to come down.
And I was like, oh man, this feels like Doom, right? But then I was like, oh, the problem is that they want you to have this like run and gun thing, except that BJ can't get health back by snapping Nazi zombies in half and continuing to run. So if I'm running and shooting and then a zombie hits me and then takes 50% of my fucking health, well, now I gotta sit there and run around the environment and look for health packs and shit before I get smoked by another one. It's just, so there was that piece, and then Alex talked about it. I hated this final boss. I think that the way it's designed is, in fairness, this is not like a Wolfenstein specific thing. I think that there are very few first-person shooters that ever do bosses correctly. Like, almost always they are bad. Like, I can think of maybe a couple that I enjoyed, and other than that, it's every single time that I'm in a first-person shooter, and then I can tell there's an invisible health bar happening. I am like, God, get me out of here. Like, this is not what I wanted.
Anytime I see a boss pop up and it's from the waist up, like arena kind of style, I'm like, this is not going to be a good boss battle. This is not going to be a good one. Every single time
it's going to be bad. I'm going to hate it.
It's always a bad one.
Exactly.
They're stationary. They're swinging at you. It's never fun.
And so I died like 3 or 4 times, and it was every single time it was just like, he's fucking moving, and then there's all this. There's just so much, and every single time that you go to do anything, I finally, I basically what I had to do was, I just sprinted around the arena, and then I would, right as I got down to the bottom, I'd take a look at him, boom, shoot him, and then keep running. And that would do enough things where he would and I just sprinted in a circle, shot him, sprinted in a circle, shot him, sprinted in a circle, shot him.
That
And at the end of it,
so
I was like,
long too.
yeah. And at the end of it, I was like, is this what you wanted? Is this was supposed to be feeling satisfying to you?
Well, the way I did it was just like boring too, because mine was just like, boom, 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 crouch wait. Let them kill the zombies, then boom, 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 like, yeah, same thing. So it was either yours where you're running but not really shooting, and mine where I'm just like crouch hiding the whole time.
And so I was left bummed at the end of it, and so I was hovering between a 2.5 and a 3, and I think still I will probably land on a 3. Because the front half I liked a lot.
So good.
But yeah, it was close to just being like, but my general feeling on it is this is fine. It's fine. Like,
it's DLC.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what the option would have been to like make it better for me. I feel like I would have said maybe just do the one DLC. Maybe
make it a little bigger.
or extend that first one. Don't do zombie stuff, and just like have BJ doing a bunch of crazy shit in Castle Wolfenstein, and then he has to leave and make his way to Fergus or something. You know, I don't know, whatever it is, right? Something.
You could have taken all that zombie stuff. Don't do any zombie stuff. Just have it to where, hey, they did something, they found something, and it caused an earthquake. That's fine. It's just some dumb shit they're doing with dynamite and tectonic plates fucked up. But you don't need to bring that supernatural into it. She could still be a paranormal officer or whatever, and she can be trying to do something that could possibly, maybe you see that big monster zombie thing just like encased in some weird stone. Or if she gets it just right, maybe, she'll be able to unleash it, and you stop her from doing that. And then you can just blow up the statue and then be done with it. And then
I would have been fine if she was the only one that got the zombie power. You kill her and then she dies but doesn't die, and then
she's
it's like
running
the
around,
second phase.
And it's a whole
she's chasing
thing.
after you real
and then
fast.
you like blow up the tomb and keep her in it. Yeah, who knows, right? Something. I totally agree. That could be.
You could take
way
zombies
easier,
out
but like
of that entire section, and we'd be fine.
Yeah, it felt so weird. I was like,
it also, it was also funny. Like, not only was the second half disjointed, but the shoehorn that they did to tie this into the first game, which is like,
just
you
shows
do all
up.
this stuff, and he just shows up, he like takes you out of the rubble, and he's like, oh, you got the file, we know where he is, let's go. And like, poor BJ, who like has been fighting for his life for days now without a shower or a bed and barely any food.
Toss
We've
him
been
in a
eating
truck.
dog food half of this time.
We're going.
Toss him in a truck, and you show up at the Air Force Base, you're like, time to go. It's like,
He's a
bro,
soldier. He's built
to
for
be
it, bro.
fair,
Give me a minute.
according to the game, like Fergus was running this mission the whole time, right? So it's like, he's been
You
waiting.
get a distress signal from Pippa.
Whatever.
And also, like, the whole thing was they're getting that folder to find out where Death's Head is to finish the fight. Like, even, like, there's narration at the end before the credits of, like, BJ's like, just one more, and it'll all be over,
Yeah,
and I
just
can
one more
finally
mission.
rest.
Yeah, and then that's where
And I guess we'll find out next game if he actually has some rest. So.
Yeah, I will. I'll land on a 3.0. Yeah, I will. It was fine.
I was leaning a little bit more 3.5, just because I could, more or less take or leave with the zombies. Like, you could just replace that with just normal Nazis and everything would be pretty much the same. So, yeah, I feel the same way with you guys. Second part was very quick, very disjointed, but I didn't hate it as much.
Yeah.
It was fine. I thought the whole comet zombies were cool. Yeah, 3.5.
I'm sure too, like, because of the scale of Castle Wolfenstein and the size and the landscapes, everything you had versus this one, I'm sure
A small town.
that by the time this DLC came out, it was like the skeleton crew and everyone else is working on the next game or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it just wasn't. It wasn't not the quality. It actually wasn't. Everything.
The
The story was not the quality.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like the gameplay was there and the look was there, but like everything else was not the quality of the previous DLC and the whole first game, which were hands down incredible.
100%.
So,
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, that's that. That leads us into our next video game book club, which is Christian's pick. Sorry if you just heard my dog bark into or cough into the microphone.
That's fine. Happens all the time.
So what is our pick for our next game?
Yeah. So I was oscillating between some different choices here. I will say one of them was going to be the Shadow of the Colossus remake because rest in peace Blue Point. But I decided not to do that because I think I want to do like that whole trilogy at one point.
What's the whole trilogy? You mean like Ico?
Ico, Shadow of the Colossus, and The Last Guardian.
You do know I'm not going to play The Last Guardian, right?
You're definitely going to play it. You watched it. You know it's fine.
Just do what I did with Neva.
I told you everything. He is just fine in the end. Everything is fine.
Just do what I did with Neva and lie to him, and he can find out later.
It's pretty fucked up.
I didn't mean to do it like that.
But I think that I wanted to do that trilogy, and so I was like, no. And then my original thing was between this choice and being the first JRPG one that we were gonna do. I decided against that one. I didn't want to do that, so I'm gonna keep in line with everything that we've got going here. We've all been doing first-person shooters, so I thought, why don't I do my favorite first-person shooter of all time, ones that I know that you two have not played, and we are going to play it. We're going to play the story mode, and it is going to be Titanfall 2.
Hell fucking yeah.
Okay.
I have played that. That is the best
Have you?
shooter campaign
I've only
ever.
played
100%.
I've only played multiplayer of both Titanfalls. I've never played the
such an
Okay,
all-time.
well, that's great. That's fine. I didn't know that you had played the story mode. Yeah,
Played
story
it when it
mode's
came out.
fantastic. So
Yeah, and not just fantastic.
like
It's one of
my
the best.
favorite-
Oh, it is the best first-person shooter campaign ever. Probably.
that is my opinion as well. Yeah, so we will play this. So we are going to play. It's going to be split into two parts. And we are going to play all the way up until the mission, The Beacon. So when you get to the mission, The Beacon, you stop.
Is this Steam Deck verified? Is it PC? We're playing it.
I know we have it on PC. I don't know if it's Steam Deck verified. I'll just look it up for you really quick.
Yeah, I would think so.
Okay.
But I could be wrong. Yeah, Titanfall 2 is fucking amazing.
It's funny, we were talking about Blue Point and other stuff as soon as I saw Ico. I was like, man, that was one of the first games I had on a PS2, and it was so tough for me as a kid because I didn't love like escort missions. But I was just thinking I would love to go back to it now since we were talking about Blue Point and other stuff. So I will not, and I will wait until it comes around on the book club, but I will be excited to go back to that game.
It is verified on the Steam Deck.
Yeah, I assume it would be.
Good.
It was old enough.
So
Cool.
we're also recording early, so there's plenty of time.
Yeah.
No rush. But yeah, it's
Well, I'm gone, right? So that's the only reason I asked, because I will be limited
Yeah,
to
but you're
what I can
back.
play.
you back what, Friday? Yeah.
I'm back. No, I'm back on the following Monday. So I'm
Full
back on the
week.
second.
Oh.
Second. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Okay.
And are we finishing the beacon, or are we stopping at the beacon?
No, we are stopping at the beacon.
Stopping at the.
So there's like a tutorial mission that happens that's like 2 minutes long, so it doesn't really count for anything. And then there is 4 missions. We're gonna do those 4. We will stop, and then we will do the final 4.
Man, this is a series of lost opportunities. I used to love the multiplayer for these games.
Oh yeah. Titanfall 2 is it's probably one of, if not my favorite shooter of all time. But it's the campaign for sure is incredible, and I thought that both of you hadn't played it. I knew Alex hadn't. I thought Preston hadn't played it either. But yeah. Well, you're back in.
Hey, I'm down for it.
Yeah, but yeah. So there's the last mission that we will be playing, just for the title, is Effect and Cause. We'll be playing that mission, but we are when you see the beacon mission, that's where you stop. You're done there.
Yeah, the PvP servers. There's no way those are still going, is it?
There's a public one.
They
somewhere.
are, but I think that the Steam ones, console ones are still up. I think the Steam ones, you have to connect to private fan-made servers because those hackers ages ago still broke the Steam ones,
Broke
and
that
I don't
game.
think EA ever went back and fixed them because go fuck
They don't
yourself.
support 'em.
But Yeah, I don't know though. They might be back up. If everything is back up, it'd be fun if we could get a multiplayer match in. But
dude, I used to love that. It was a blast. Well, such a wild. Such a wild concept. Again, it was like it was a series of opportunity that they just fumbled, which is incredible.
Every single time.
Yeah. Yep.
So, all right, everybody. Cool. Well, that's our next game. That's exciting. Did not see that coming.
That's a good one.
So tune in with us next week, everybody. We'll have new episodes for you. And of course, don't forget to tune in with Preston on Star Wars Sundays. And then we will be back at you with a new video game book club very soon. So thanks for hanging out. And with that, Preston, you know what to do.
Hit it.
Thank you for listening to another episode of The Testimony. Catch up on past episodes or check out the newest ones when they drop. Follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts. Watch us when you can. Check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/@thetestimony, or watch us live on twitch.tv/testimony live. Leave comments or ask questions, you can follow us on Instagram @testingroompod. Leave a comment on YouTube or send them in to testingroompod@gmail.com. See you next time.